Hello and welcome. This is Fireworks, TVC's hard talk interview program that brings you the news behind the news. I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo. Today we'll review the December 2017 PDP convention. Of course, it has come and gone, but leaving behind discontent and division in its trail. What are the lessons learned? Especially, how has it changed the popular view about the party being fractured? We'll talk to one of the active participants in that election. Welcome once again. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned to Fireworks. Today my guest is Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, newly elected, and former editor. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much, Kola.
Yes, you're a former editor at this day newspaper. I'd like to start from that point, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Journalism and politics is an odd combination, albeit, you know, a popular one in these parts. So, what is it like?
Well, I do not agree that journalism and politics are a hard combination. We have had journalists.
Odd.
Okay, odd combination. We have had journalists.
Albeit popular.
Yes, we have had journalists who rose to the pinnacle of politics. We had Chief Obafemi Awolowo. We had Chief Olusegun Osuoba. Many of our politicians came out of journalism to engage in real politics. And you must also not forget that journalism leverages with politics, because we stand and fight on the side of the people always. And you get to a point in your life and in your career where you believe that things are not being done well. And you just naturally believe that you can contribute your own quota. And that's what has brought me to where I am.
But journalists who switch are often criticized for forgetting where they're coming from. As you know, members of the Fourth Estate, they're supposed to, you know, check the arms of government and help ensure accountability.
As a Fourth Estate of the realm.
As a Fourth Estate of the realm.
Yes, in the process of checking, of checking and keeping those balances, you get involved at some point. And if you look at it, majority of journalists who have ended up in politics were driven by the passion to make things right. And that's what has brought me to where I am too. You look at the scenarios, you look at the political situations, you want to make your own contribution. And you want to see that the political class does the thing that it's doing correctly. And that's what has led me here.
So let's hope that you do not forget to make things right while you're here.
Certainly, I will ensure that PDP does things right, that we are politically correct, and that we work in the interest of the people. And
that aptly sets the tone for where we are headed in our discourse today. Okay. The issues arising from the December PDP convention, evidently the consequences are still left behind. What efforts are being made for reconciliation? We are truly reconciling.
If you recall, last Sunday, we were at the residence of former governor of Enugu State, Chief Dr. Nwodo, and where two of the contestants who came out to protest vehemently were reconciled with the party. And they created what is known in the political parlance today as Fresh PDP Group. And the beauty of their group is that they are not a fractured part of the PDP. They are only making a protest. And they have resolved within themselves that they are returning back to the party. And the party leadership, under Prince Uche Secondus, created a reconciliation committee led by the governor of Bayelsa State, Governor Seriake Dixon, who had intervened, had come to the southwest, for instance, met with Chief Olabode George, met with Chief Benga Daniel, met with Jimmy Agbaji, met with, we were supposed to meet with Professor Tawhid Adedoja. We have not been able to quickly achieve that. Even as of yesterday, we were supposed to be in Ibadan to meet with Professor Tawhid Adedoja, but we have met with Chief Rasidi Ladoja. So this is the reconciliatory effort that the new leadership of the party is bringing in. And we aren't going to stop at that. We are very shortly going to engage on membership drive as directed by the national chairman of the party, which is Secondus.
But rarely, perhaps I shouldn't have started from that point. Are you sitting easy as the National Publicity Secretary, knowing that, you know, the popular view was that this round of executives were imposed on the party ahead of the election?
The word imposed is improper. Every member of this sitting executive vied for the position they occupied. They contested election at a convention held at Eagle Square on the 9th of December 2017. It was an election. It was an election because Bukola, that's not correct. That's not correct. That's not correct. You see, when people make assertions about our party, it's always strange to me. Because you are outside of the party. You are not a member of the party. You will ask us what happened. Then we will give you the narrative. You understand? What happened at the convention ground? There were 3 or 4 different lists that came to convention. That's bygone already, but we just need to set the narratives right. There were 3 to 4 lists that came to the convention ground. I remember very well we had a winning list. I remember very well we had a national list. I remember very well we had a unity list. This is not strange to party politics because party politics allow for caucuses to operate. Even in the Guild of Editors election, there are always lists. The information people will bring their lists. The Southwest group will bring their list. The Northern group will bring their list. So election allow for caucuses to operate.
So who brought the unity list?
I said members of the PDP. Members of the PDP
these members have names.
And there are caucuses. So if you say who brought the names, those who brought the names were party members who sat down together and agreed and had a consensus.
Reportedly settled for the unity list.
The delegates, were you at the convention ground?
I monitored the convention.
You monitored the convention.
The convention was broadcast live.
And you monitored the convention.
Yeah.
Were there people voting?
Voting was on.
Voting was on. What was that? What was that? Was that not an election? It was an election.
On the surface.
No, yes, on the surface.
So
people came.
Even though it was broadcast live, we wouldn't know what transpired behind closed doors.
Bukola, what transpired behind closed doors were campaigned by people who sought to occupy offices.
Would you like to tell us who brought the unity list?
I campaigned. I will come back to that. I campaigned to be National Publicity Secretary. It was hotly contested. I was voted for and elected the National Publicity Secretary. Every other offices, people campaigned. It was like a presidential election. All the chairmanship aspirants went around Nigeria to campaign, addressing the delegates of the party. And the delegates came to Abuja, and the convention was held. And no gun was put on the head of any delegate to cast his votes or her votes in a particular direction. So in the face of that, we had a convention that remains the most successful in the history of our party. And we even came out of that convention to challenge the ruling government party, the All Progressives Party, the All Progressives Congress, to hold his own convention. His own constitution provides that in 2 years it must hold a convention. It's going into the 3rd year. It has not held one single convention. So when you talk about those who brought the unity list, you are really asking me that who are the members of the PDP, and I cannot sit down here and give you a list of our teaming members. That will not be achievable here.
You have rightly said that campaigns were done throughout the country ahead of the election.
Yes.
And I recall on one of those campaigns when one of the candidates led a delegation to one of the states to campaign for votes for support. One of his spokesmen said the election, the PDP convention, is not for sale.
Yes. It wasn't for. He was correct. It wasn't for sale.
That was a warning.
It was correct. He was correct. The spokesperson was correct because the convention that we had was not for sale.
In agitation.
Look, Bukola, let me just tell you, let me give this to you.
If you disagree that the election was monetized.
No, the election was completely monetized. It was never monetized.
Let's talk about purchases.
Yes.
You disagree that this election was monetized. In the letter that is trending currently, yes, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has said that a particular governor, if he thinks he can carry he can dictate terms of the party just because he purchased a Supreme Court judgment that gave the former caretaker committee election victory in this country. That where does this leave Nigeria, especially ahead of the 2019 election? I'm not quoting him copiously.
Yes, I understand.
So is he also making an idle allegation?
You have given the appropriate word to use. You understand? I will not quote you, but that is just the appropriate words in this context. When you say that judgment was purchased at the Supreme Court, you are indirectly destroying the judicial system. And I just want to keep it at that. But I want to tell you that our party vacated every order using the legal process established within the context of the 1999 Constitution as amended. That was how we vacated the orders against our party. I am not aware, and the party is not aware, that judgment was purchased anywhere. But let us leave it at that. I am telling you, you said you monitored the convention and it was broadcast live. Did you see any delegate going to cast his vote and had a gun on his head? Delegates chose freely whom they wanted to elect. There were no inhibitions. There were no direction. I, for instance, went around the Eagle Square 4 to 5 times.
And it is the popular view that you were also imposed by your own boss, the former Senate President, Senator David Mark.
That sounds very strange to me, because you are the first person raising that. I am a journalist.
But you worked for him.
I am a journalist.
You worked for him.
I am a journalist with about 25 years experience.
It is the popular view that you were also imposed by your own boss, the former Senate President, Senator David Mark.
That sounds very strange to me, because you are the first person raising that. Since 2007, I had contested primary election on the platform of the PDP to go to the House of Representatives in 2011, which I lost.
You lost.
You understand? Excuse me, please. Excuse me. If you say, Bukola, if you now come to a summation and a submission that I was elected because I had worked for the former president of the Senate, why didn't I win the House of Representatives election while I was working with the president of the Senate?
You tell us.
So that is not correct. That assertion,
you tell us.
That assertion is
you
wrong.
Tell us why didn't you win?
It's completely unacceptable.
Perhaps you're using this office to test your popularity.
It is not correct.
To gain popularity in your career
it is not
as
correct.
you further advance.
It is not correct. I campaigned. Mind you, I'm from Kogi State. And the position was microzoned to Kogi State. There were 2 of us
conveniently
from Kogi State. There were 2 aspirants from Kwara State. You understand? There were 3 of us from Kogi, 2 from Kwara State. And we all ran campaigning across our geopolitical zone, the North Central. And the delegates found it convenient to say the man who is a professional, who is coming with an experience of a quarter of a century, will be better suited for this job. And they voted for me. And that's how I emerged. So for anybody to sit down and come to a contemplation that I was elected,
so you didn't ride on the shoulders of Senator David Mark
to conclude that I was brought into office by the former president of the Senate, Senator David Mark, is incorrect. Absolutely.
You didn't ride on his shoulders.
Absolutely.
To get to
there is no way. I don't know if you've run election. I don't know if you've run election before. If you had run election before, you will know that in the course of contesting an election, even a student union election, even a community association election in your estate where you live in Lagos, if you want to become the chairman of your estate community, you must consult. You must talk to people who are in charge of your estate. You must seek their consent, you must seek their vote. I consulted widely and I was elected.
If you're claiming that this election was free and fair, so
very free and fair.
In fact, from the point of the election,
yes.
Candidates were already crying foul. Chief Bode George
yes.
was already alleging that delegates had been induced,
yes.
and they were already dropping from that point. Not even after the election. It was on election day
yes.
that as candidates were already, throwing in the towel, alleging a lot of irregularities.
You see, you are making a position, and you are running contrary to the position you are making. How can you allege irregularity before an election is held? Is it possible? Election has not held. You are alleging irregularity in that particular election.
Delegates were being induced.
I want to advise my own colleagues that we have helped to ensure that we have a democracy in this country. We have also contributed immensely to build and nurture this democracy. I want to advise us as professional colleagues that we should ensure that we work to sustain the same democracy. We should not play into the hands of fifth columnists. Chief Bode George made a protest. The party had sent the delegation to him, and he had accepted in good faith the election. Former Governor of Ogun State, Gbenga Daniel, expressed dissent to the election. The party has sent representation to him. He has accepted. And I can say that about Rashid Ladoja. And I can say that
there would not be so many
in every election. There are not many. What do you mean by so many? What do you mean by so many grievances? How many people had after the convention?
Why did the party have to approach these people to try to calm frayed nerves? If the election was free and fair, in
our party, we have an internal conflict resolution mechanism.
Conflict resolution mechanism.
And yes,
arising as a result of that convention.
Even in Nigerian election, excuse me please.
So was it free and fair?
It was free and fair. It was very free and fair. But even in the national election, after every election, the incoming government must ensure that it has a rapprochement.
That's a contradiction.
You understand? That it has a rapprochement. You understand? It's not a consolation. I have established to you the fact that we had a convention that is adjudged to be free, to be fair, and to be very credible. You must think that from me.
I wonder if I can. You're watching Fireworks, and I've been talking with the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. We're reviewing the just concluded December 2017 election. Let's take a short break, after which, when we return, we'll now be looking at the zoning formula that led to the emergence of the new PDP national chairman who is from the South, and especially how that will affect the 2019 election. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned to Fireworks. If you've been following us in the last half hour, I've been talking with the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan. And as we make progress in this discourse, we're looking at the events leading to the emergence of the new national chairman of the party. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much, Kola.
Now, ahead of the December election, the South governor, who is believed to be the grand patron of this election, was quoted to have said, I won't
grand patron of what?
I won't quote him copiously.
Grand patron of what?
Of this election.
I won't accept that from you. The governor of Rivers State, whom I believe you are talking about, is a member of our party. Okay.
Agreed. Member of the party.
Thank you very much.
Member of your party.
Thank you very much.
Who is believed to have said that...
and is our governor, elected on the platform of our party.
He talked along the lines of the need to zone the chairmanship position to the South.
Yeah.
And he's the one believed to have presented Prince Uche Secondus. And Chief Bode George took exceptions to his reference to the Southwest not having worked for the party. Now, as someone who is, even though you're geographically from the Middle Belt, don't you also have reservations about the comments about the Southwest not having worked for the party? Doesn't the Southwest specifically deserve to have been rewarded, at least for their loyalty?
Well, Bukola, I want to break into your discussion. The constitution of our party, the PDP, recognizes zoning to the north and to the south. The party sat down and zoned positions to the north and to the south. In the north, where I come from, positions were microzone.
Agreed.
I would not know what happened in the south because by geographical expression, even though I'm Kola Ologbondiyan, by geographical expression, I am situated in the north. And the position that was microzone to my own geopolitical zone was National Public Secretary and National Financial Secretary.
Do you claim to forget that the chairmanship position?
I cannot claim. It is the responsibility. It was the responsibility of the South to now sit down and microzone the positions that have been zoned to the South,
so
and also ensure. Don't blackmail me. Bukola, don't blackmail me. I am a Yoruba man, but I am from the north central geopolitical zone, and I have told you, and I have told you that what happened. What I have told you, what I have told you is that positions were zoned to the south and to the north, and that in the case of the north, it sat down and looking around their offices and microzone them to the respective geopolitical zones. And I have told you that I am not in a position to know what transpired in the south.
It's convenient.
Whether after they had zoned position to the south, whether the south also sat down to microzone the position. I'm not in a position to know.
It's convenient for you.
I don't agree. I don't agree that it's a matter. I don't agree. It's a matter that is to you. I don't agree with you that it's a matter of convenience. It is not. I was an aspirant, mind you, and I needed to campaign, and I needed to work within the party to ensure that I get elected. And in the course of that, I was operating across the nation. You understand? And I want you to know for certain that it's not going to be easy for me to go and poke my nose into what was happening in the south in respect of the geopolitical zones.
Mr. Ologbondiyan, and it's understandable that you didn't answer the question.
That's not correct, because you were trying to blackmail me, and I avoided your part.
If you would refuse to answer that question, has the Southwest worked hard for the party in the last
every geopolitical zone of this country has contributed immensely to the development of PDP and to the development of Nigeria. And thank you very much.
Yet again. Now, in 2019, if the PDP has discountenanced the efforts, the contributions of the Southwest, how do you expect these men, Professor Tunde Adejoja,
it is wrong of you. It is wrong of you. Bukola, it is absolutely wrong for you to come to a conclusion. It is absolutely improper for you to draw that conclusion. And I tell you today, you understand, that the PDP, the People's Democratic Party, still the largest party in Africa, has responsibility towards every geopolitical zone in this country, not minding their class, not minding their creed, and not minding their tribe. And PDP remains the only national party in this country that takes into consideration the feelings of every segment of the nation. So it is wrong of you to draw a conclusion saying that members of our party in the Southwest, it's wrong of you to draw a conclusion that Surely they will work. Surely they will work. Surely they work for the PDP. Surely they will work for the PDP because they are members of the PDP, and it is in the collective interest of every Nigerian to work for the PDP because that is the only party that has recognition for the culture. Is the only party that has recognition for the feelings of our people.
How do you expect them to work for the PDP?
How would they not work for PDP? How would they not work for PDP?
Shut out of key
no,
offices.
they have not been. They have not been shut out of key offices. Go and check a list of the National Working Committee. Go and take a look at the list of our NEC members. You will discover that every geopolitical zone has been absolutely represented, and that is a statement of fact. So it is convenient for you to come and say that Southwest geopolitical zone was shut out. Southwest geopolitical zone was never shut out. As I speak with you today, the Deputy National Chairman in charge of the entire South is from the Southwest. And I can go on and on. There are standards established in every democracy. You just said that the convention was that so much money was deployed at the convention. In another breath, you are talking and you are complaining about that you are complaining about your own belief that money was deployed at the convention. In another form, you are now asking if certain people, if certain individuals in our party have the war chest, financial war chest
for the Southwest.
For the Southwest. So, in one breath, you do not want money in politics. In another breath, you are canvassing money in politics. So I do not know what to take. But I can assure you, I can tell you that I can assure you, that our members in Southwest are not only going to work for the party. They are not only going to work for the PDP. They will ensure that they trounced APC or any other party in the Southwest. I give that to you.
What's the strategy that the PDP?
I will not. Why do you want me to disclose that strategy to you? Why should we disclose our strategy to you? But that I can assure you of one thing, that if you are looking for a party that is people-oriented, if you are looking for a party that cares for the welfare of Nigerians, if you are looking for a party who understands this nation, who understands the people of this country, and who has ensured that every interest is represented, whether you come from the Southwest geopolitical zone, whether the Southeast, whether the South-South, North Central, Northeast, or Northwest. The only party that has satisfied every interest in our modern political history is the People's Democratic Party. And that is what is going to play a major part in the next election.
We want to thank you very much, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan. You say that indeed the PDP has learned from its lessons.
We have learned from our lessons. And we have learned from our mistakes, in governance, and we have rebranded, we are repositioning, our doors are wide open. We are looking for that credible Nigerian who will serve the interests of every Nigerian.
I hope that Nigerians agree with you, especially
they do. Nigerians do.
Going by the conduct of the last
they do. Nigerians do. They do.
PDP convention.
They
I
do.
wonder if they agree with you about
Nigerians do.
Having learned your lessons.
Nigerians do.
That's how it's being on Fireworks today. Thank you for your time. Of course, we promise you another incisive edition of the program when we come your way again, same time next week. On behalf of the crew, I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo. Bye for now. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Yuki.